Good afternoon, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on when you are based. We are glad to have you with us for our live chat session. We are going to spend the next 20-25 minutes to show you the integration with COM100. We've come to this integration because we've seen a need for a live chat to the EasyVista platform. One of the most common communication between service desk and end user now is going through live chat. So we've been looking at several solutions, did some assessment, and decided to go with COM100 for reasons that we will share during this presentation. I have with me James Williamson from FMX, as well as Chris.miller and Matt Jinks from COM100. The agenda, I'm assuming you can all see my screen. Keep in mind, you can download the handouts about the FMX COM100 one-pager. If you have questions, you can go to the question section in the GoToWebinar and ask your question. We'll try to keep the questions for the end, but if they are pertinent, then we'll answer. So the objective is of this webinar is to present the integration on some use cases that we thought would be beneficial for you guys on your self-service. COM100 is going to show some added benefits, so maybe integration that we didn't do yet, but we could add to the integration. We are the organizer, so you know FMX Solutions. I will let Matt introduce COM100. Panelists, we discuss it. So the idea is to show you how you could enhance your user experience, some key features, and we believe that live chat is a good first step before going to Cobalt on the chatbot. Chatbot will require to add some content on having a live chat on getting used to questions sent by your user would be a good first step before diving into the chatbot. And yes, we will be recording. We are recording the session, and we'll share the session on LinkedIn and on our YouTube channel. If you are not connected, if you are not following our YouTube channel, we'll send a follow-up email and share the link. Maybe James can do that. I think that's all for the intro. I'm going to let Matt go through the key features of the live chat. Matt?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Xavier. So COM100 has really been designed to be a real enterprise-grade chat solution with a feature set that's intuitive to use for chat agents and that's also intuitive for customers. But it's also flexible and configurable enough to meet the complex requirements of businesses. And what I think makes us different is a couple of things, and I've broken these out into 4 pillars here. The first is collaboration. And what I'm referring to here is how COM100 allows agents to easily work together on chats. Chats can be escalated and assigned to different agents depending on what comes up. And the full chat history in the transcript is also transferred, so agents can easily pick up where others left off. They can also add notes while a chat is going on that the visitor can't see. So maybe there's something about a customer that someone needs to know. We can make that available to the agent in real time. We also offer the ability to break up your chat team into roles and departments so that you can route chats effectively and make sure that the agent best suited to handle an inquiry is the one getting the chat. Another pillar is plug in and play. This is COM100's ability to integrate with third-party systems. Example of that is we have a fully productized API suite. This makes it easy to get all of the valuable customer chat data that COM100 gathers and put that into a third-party system like a CRM or a BI tool. You can also bring in third-party data using the Agent Console extension. We're going to be seeing an example of that today with what FMX has built with EasyVista. Basically, this is the ability for agents to access another piece of software within Com100's chat agent console. We also offer a mobile SDK if you want to bring Com100 chat into your mobile app, and Com100 software itself can be iframed into third-party software as well. Com100 is also highly configurable. I mentioned routing before. Our system can not only route on standard parameters like where a person's chatting from or whether or not a person is an existing customer or not. If a customer, we can also route based on a person's stated intention. So if a customer starts a chat with, I need to reset my password, the person or department best suited to handle that chat might be quite different than had they said, I need a new laptop or something like that. And we can use that stated intention as a routing parameter. I'm going to show you real-time auto translation later, but I think we all understand that that's extremely valuable. And of course, we allow full customization over the look and feel of your chat experience on your website or in your mobile app. And lastly, of course, we pride ourselves on our ironclad security with ISO, PCI DSS, GDPR, and HIPAA compliance. We're also about a month away from getting our SOC 2 certification. And through our flexible deployment model, we offer both cloud and on-premise options. So that's it for me for this slide.
I'm going to give a screen to James, so that we can go through the integration itself, how it works. You should be on, James.
That sounds great. I appreciate it. All right, let me know if you can't see it there, yes. At least Xavier. Okay. Yes. So once again, I'm James Williamson. I'm going to be presenting from the EasyVista side, at least from a UI perspective, of what Com100 could do and from an integration standpoint and what it looks like for the end user. I'm another consultant here as well as Chris.Miller, but don't hesitate to ask questions throughout this and we'll try to get them answered, as we can. So what we're looking at here is an example of a self-service portal that was built out for EasyVista via the Service Apps product. So you're probably pretty familiar, or this looks like, it looks familiar, I should say. The idea is you give different options for your self-service user, of course. One being able to submit tickets to you, view items, approve anything, whatever it may be the situation that you're trying to help them out with. But the biggest thing that we're wanting to show off here is the chat feature. So down in the bottom right, and this can be positioned anywhere you would like to be, like he was talking about, Matt was talking about, which is, the interface can be configured. As you know, with Service Apps, we configure this from the ground up. We can do the same thing here. So we click on the chat. What that'll do is it will initialize it with the organization's chatbot. In the background, the agent will get, well, I should say, on the agents will get a call that will come in. So to show that real quick, because I need to accept it because it's ringing in the background, you can't hear that, but I'm going to accept that. So I'm a user of FMX, or a client, I should say. So in this case, we'll just say James is calling into FMX, chatting in with FMX, and he's going to work with William at this point in time. So the idea is, like he was talking about, there's things that you could provide in here, state of intent, like you can have some keywords, so you could start saying, like in the example that I'll do with this one, password reset. I need my password reset. They can type a message, attach something if they need to, etc. So basically starting to interact. Now, of course, right now that's all going on with the agent's console. And so that's now sitting in them. So let me just kind of snap over to the agents version, and it can be a web client. It also can be a desktop client. So it has a thin client, if you will. And in this case, we're using the web client, but you can always install in Mac or Windows a client that the agent can use on their desktop if needed. But in here, they'll have this information. If some of the features were set up in the sense of like self-help or quick knowledge articles, then things might populate for the technician off the bat. It also can show information. But the biggest thing I want to show is the integration back into EasyVista. So I'm going to go back to FMXs, and so this is the integration. This will be something offered to the technician, of course. They'll have an ability to come in here, look at it, different information, whether they want to, click here to see the information about who is logged in. In this case, it's the demo account for William, but that, it's just showing you what you could pull back, like their location, their department, comments about them if needed, that kind of stuff. So that's the user integration, if you will. From there, you can also integrate from, the EasyVista side. So like listing tickets, etc., or even create them. So let me just show you a little bit about that. And then I'll show you what it looks like to the customer once we go back to them. So if I do list tickets, I can go open this list and see the list of open tickets for this particular end user. And so it'll show their ticket numbers. You can mouse over here, get a quick view, if you will. I can click here if I wanted to and get the more detailed information. So the description of the chat, see the description. You can already see some of the, so this one was used to do live chat as well. So you can see where the integration from what is typed into here goes back to the ticket. You can send a summary of the chat. So I'm going to do that. So let's just say this happened to be a ticket they submitted and they're calling in on it. I can say, okay, I want to send that information to the customer and send them their ticket number, some brief high-level information. What that looks like to them, of course, is just multiple chats, but at least it gives them the idea. So it gives them what they're looking for, and obviously the information is customizable. So we can add, description, short description, etc. From here, you can also do other things like close the ticket. So if like the ticket, if you wanted to resolve it, if you wanted to update the ticket information, you could do so for the customer right away. So what that looks like is, just the ability to say they need their password reset. I can include the transcript, and now it's back to it. In the background, if I didn't have this resolution so small, there was a green box that was showing, hey, this ticket was updated. So there's a little bit, some feedback, if you will, for the technician to know, hey, I updated a ticket. But to show you what it looks like. So right here, here's the visitor. I need the password reset, the chat. So this is all the integration back to it. So this is what went back to the description of the ticket right away. So in real time that happens. The other thing that the technician can do for the customer, of course, is do a new ticket. So this is that integration back in. And this is, for EasyVista, this would just go into the EasyVista system, and any other ticket system that you may have. So if I click on new, it's very simple. Just type in here, they need their password reset. Include the transcript if I want. This time I'm just not. I'll do the creation of the ticket. Show it in the background right there. Here's the indicator that it happened, so that green text. If I were to go back into the list of tickets now, there should be 2 tickets. So the one that I initially created, and then the one that's newly created. So let's just do this one. So here you go. And then there you go, ticket created via live chat. So you can put some stuff that, put some verbiage here so people know, hey, this ticket was created via the live chat or whatever it may be. So the origin, all those nice things can get set. And so, at any time, of course, I can reply back. They also have canned responses. So I just want to show a little bit of stuff, and then I'm going to move on and let Matt show all the more advanced features. But you can have canned responses. And like I was talking about before, you can also have stuff auto-populate down here. So like a quick response, if you will, for the technician. So that more the smart responses that you see like with Google and all that kind of stuff, they offer that to the chat as well. So did this resolve your issue, and just, the normal stuff back. They can even send a file. And then there's other features, of course, that they can do. So going back to here, you can see it right here. And then when they're done, it's very simple for them. All they really have to do is just leave, or if they click the X up here, they will be asked if they can leave the chat. They can then at that point send themselves the transcript so they can have the digital copy if they want. So I can say, okay, I want to send it to James or my email. and then I click send. Now it's sent to that email. I close out of there. In the background, the visitor has left, the chat has ended, and now they just sit as a visitor to the site. So that's kind of the interaction.
We could also update an existing ticket. Is it something you do have?
Yeah, so I showed that, so I'd have to start the chat up again. I did show that on the first initial pass, but let me just show that real quick again. So you can kind of see that process one more time. So in here, let's just say I want to come and say, indicate this ticket right here, that I want to update that ticket to say, okay, they actually didn't have connection. And if I could spell, and then that would update the ticket. If I should close this window, it'll show it updated in the background. If I go to the ticket itself, I can go see that updated information. And there it is. I could even close that ticket if I want to, just to show that. No longer needed, whatever the situation may be, include the transcript, and now it's closed out. So if I go in here, well, and I've already closed it, but it was right. You know, there was 2 tickets before, now there's 1. So the technician can work in here majority of the time and not have to worry about going into EasyVista every single time. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anything else?
Otherwise, we'll go to Matt.
Okay.
Let me make you presenter. Thank you, James.
Of course, my pleasure.
Okay. Just want to make sure that you guys can see my screen here. Everything is visible.
We can.
Perfect. So I wanted to touch on some of the more advanced functions of the chat solution, which I think add significant value. I'm starting here on the visitor side, as James did, of the chat experience. This time I have a proactive chat invitation asking if I need help. These invitations are great because they're a great way to target specific visitors with contextual messages. So depending on who a person is, where they're chatting from, and what page they're on, I can make this message display differently. And I can also choose to have it appear or not appear. And when I click this, it opens up and the chat window appears. Once again, everything here can be customized, the color. We can even have this be a pop-out if you needed to be, things like that. And when I open this up, the pre-chat form appears. You don't necessarily have to have a pre-chat form, but sometimes it's helpful because it automates some of the information gathering that your agents might have to do anyway. You could also require people to sign in at this point using Com100's ability to use third-party authentication methods using single sign-on. You could validate someone's identity and make their entire profile available to the agent while they're chatting. So I've got here I'm asking for my name and my email, and I'm also asking for what are you chatting about today. And depending on what I select here, this might have an implication on how my chat gets routed. You know, the person who's best equipped to handle a tech support request might be significantly different from the person who can do account management. And so when I click this button, all of the rules that I have set up are kind of put into action, and it determines the agent that, based on my routing rules, I should be routed to. In this case, there's only 1 agent online, so it's all going to come to me. But you know, if you had it set up so that someone was signed in through and authenticated in EasyVista, you can have it so that their preferred account manager, the person that they deal with all the time, is preferred as the person that they get over other agents. So I'm going to hit the Start Chatting button. And the chat has begun. And the first feature that I wanted to highlight here was the auto translation feature. I'm going to start off here with French, saying hello in French. And on the agent side, we're back in the agent chat console here. Com100 has picked up on the fact that this person is speaking in French, and it presents me the option to engage the real-time auto translation solution so that everything that I type now, so if I say, hello, how are you doing today? everything that I type from this point going forward is going to display to the visitor in French, and on my side I can see not only the French but also the translation back into English. So when a customer responds to this or a visitor responds to this, I will be able to see this back in English, so that really what it allows me to do is support customers in their language of choice without actually having multilingual agents. You know, I've spoken to many customers of Com100 who before using Com100, they were actually taking and copying and pasting responses from visitors in different languages into Google Translate, which really slowed everything down and added a lot more work for agents. And with auto translation, you'll never have to do that again. So I just wanted to show you that. And I'm just going to turn this off here because I want to move on to the next feature that we have, which is Agent Assist. And what Agent Assist is a piece of AI technology that Com100 has, which reads inbound visitor questions and automatically finds answers from your existing help resources. And these resources can be canned messages or a knowledge center or even chatbot responses. And when it finds those answers, it'll suggest them to agents as possible answers in real time. So I'm going to show you what I mean here. So I'm going to ask the question, how do I install Skype? And we can see that above the typing field here, I have a few suggestions based on the linguistic algorithms that we have. So the first one here is, of course, the most correct one. And if I want to, I can just click on it and it will automatically populate into the typing area. But if I know this question, this answer is the right answer for this question, I can just double click on it and it sends it out, which really saves a lot of time for agents. But I can also do other things like automate entire workflows with Agent Assist. You say if someone says, I've lost my laptop. For an agent, the workflow that you'd have to do on the back of this might be set in stone. You know, it's the same series of questions every single time, and the agent knows, that's going to have to first ask, when did it go missing, and then another question, and another question, and then get to actually submit a request. Using Agent Assist, we can actually automate that entire workflow within the system. So when I click this, on the agent side, I'm actually going to be worked through a series of questions. So it's asking me, when did the laptop go missing? I'm going to say today. What is your security clearance level? Alpha 1. And then at the end of it, I actually have a form here that I can fill out. All the while, the agent actually isn't having to do any of this. They can be off handling other inquiries. And when they return, they're actually going to be able to see all this information that's been gathered automatically. Today. To submit this. And we can see all this information has just been made available to me here. And we can even export this data to a third-party system and submit the request automatically if we wanted to. The last function of Agent Assist that I kind of wanted to touch on here was something called is the learning component of it. So if I ask a question, I don't know, what color is your dog? Right, probably, nothing's going to come up for that, right? That's not a question that falls within the purview of an IT service manager. But let's say it's a question that I'm getting all the time. People are always asking about the color of my dog, and I say, hey, I'm getting this question all the time. I really would like a canned response to this so I never have to type out the answer again. What I can do is, if nothing's coming up, I can hit this little plus button here. And what will happen is it will be automatically added to the learning component of Agent Assist, which will flag to a Com100 administrator, hey, this is a great candidate for some automation here. Please give me a canned response so that next time I don't have to type it all out again. Your agents are going to really love Agent Assist because they're going to spend a lot less time searching around for answers, and your customers are going to love it too because they're going to see dividends in the form of shorter queue times, faster service than ever before, things like that. And also the answers that they're going to give are going to be more accurate. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to be showing all the advanced features. There's other cool things like the ability to dynamically segment visitors into groups. Here we have the VIP flag for this person. We also have co-browsing, and then we also have audio and video chat as well. But as I said, for the sake of time, we're not going to go through that. But there is one last thing that I wanted to touch on here, and that's our comprehensive reporting suite that really allows you to dig into the effectiveness of your chat service. As you can see, there are many reports to choose from on the left here, and these are going to allow you to get answers to questions like, how long do my customers have to wait on average before getting to chat? Where are my chats coming from? That could be in the chat source report. And what is the average rating given to chats? So let's dig into that report right now just so you can see an example. So here's an example of the chat ratings report. I can see at the bottom here the average rating for my chats over a given time period, which right now is set to the last 30 days. The green bar here is the average rating for a chat that was on a given day. And the individual bars here are the ratings that came in on those days. But if I wanted to break this up, I could easily just set it to be by week. And I can also change the time period to be, let's say the last 14 days, and do this by day. And you can see that everything here is updating in real time, which is really great if you need to get answers to questions quickly. Reporting data from Com100 can also be exported by our API so that it can be blended with other data from across your customer service ecosystem. Maybe you're using a different business intelligence tool for tracking customer interaction data. It's easy to take all that info that Com100 gathers and create custom reports for chat. Okay, that pretty much covers it for my portion here. I hope that's been informative. Unless you have anything else that you'd like me to cover, Xavier? James?
No, I think we are okay. We had one question from Jay regarding how does it affect. So if you have any question, just go to the panel and write your question. The question was, so how does that affect the licenses when you are using the interface to get information into EasyVista? So it's going to use one license for the REST API because the integration is based on REST. But let's say you have 5 concurrent Com100 licenses, it's just going to use one license.
Just a quick correction on that. It uses a login. It does not use a license. The REST API does not use a license.
Oh, okay. That's even better then.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's. I don't see any other question. Do you have anything else? Otherwise, we are good to go, I think. So we'll send you the recording. And if you want to know more about pricing or anything like that, feel free to contact us.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.